Headlines and our top focus, what's taking place in the UK. UK Prime Minister Keir Starmer has addressed concerns regarding the BBC's operation, stating that he will not comment on the specifics of the broadcaster's internal matters. However, he has emphasised that where mistakes are made, the BBC must ensure its house is in order. In the face of growing disinformation, Starmer reiterated the importance of an impartial BBC, stating that the case for its independence is stronger than ever. He's also reinforced his commitment to a united team, asserting that his government is working together to deliver on key priorities. Starmer further clarified that no authorization has been given by his team for any attacks on cabinet members. Joining us on the broadcast is Mr. Shyam Batra, British politician from London. Thank you so much for taking our time and speaking to us on NewsX World. What we've seen basically, and the revelations that we've seen the Telegraph make, is the fact that content was doctored, the context was changed in order to mislead viewers, that too for no less than the President of the United States of America. We do know that freedom of press is important, but is that really a license to twist facts? That is the larger question that is circulating at the moment.
Well, you'll have to ask the BBC, because that's what they did. And who knows what else they've done over the years. This is some 4 years ago now, maybe longer. And the thing is that President Trump's quite right in his interest to sue them for £1 billion, $1 billion even. When you're doctoring something like this that's so prevalent, where he's kind of saying that he's inciting the riot to happen, and which is what had happened, but he was saying something completely different. I myself posted it on my social media, and it's had some outstanding views. But the situation is that this is in the hands of Trump now. He should decide what next moves he wants to make. And the fact that it's now been finally found out by the Telegraph is amazing. I'm really pleased.
Indeed. In fact, the quotes that were spliced together were made more than 50 minutes apart, is what
right.
Indeed people had to point out. But we've also seen reactions coming in from senior BBC presenters. I'm not going to take any names, but several of them have been doubling down. They claim that the BBC is facing a coordinated, politically motivated attack, and that the BBC has now got a real fight on its hands to defend public service broadcasting, because that's under threat. These are the justifications that they have put across. I wanted to understand, given all of this, is this now a bid to divert from the core issue of blatant violation of journalistic ethics?
Well, I think this question that you've just said to me should be pointed to all the journalists and all the media outlets in the world, because who knows what else other outlets have been doing, because they have amazing equipment to deal with things like this, and to make somebody talk about something completely different while they're not talking about it at all. This should be a warning, not even a warning. All the media outlets should open their eyes and stop doing the nonsense that has been done, because if the BBC's done it, there's other outlets, I'm sure, that have done a lot of other things to other officials such as Trump, and maybe even in our own government, we don't know. But it needs to be looked at.
Indeed. In fact, there was another tweet that was put out by former UK Home and Foreign Secretary James Cleverly. He'd, of course, branded what transpired as a failure of the BBC to recognize its own bias. He cited certain examples with regards to the reportage that the BBC has done regarding the war in the Middle East. He pointed out that he'd raised several instances with senior BBC management on numerous occasions, but nothing has really been done about it. Is what's taken place, and Trump's reaction now suing the BBC, is this a wake-up call for the institution at large?
I think the BBC should get sued. I really do. And the reason is because they have been manipulating press and news for a very, very long time. And because they're an organization funded most probably from the people in England, our people, we have a say. But I think everybody should stop subscribing to the BBC straight away. This is the ridiculous situation. You can't trust them. Simple as that.
Indeed, you stated that it's taxpayer money that is going to fund the organization that is peddling news to a certain extent biased in many cases as well. I want to understand from you, from the people that you've spoken to over the last couple of days since that explosive report came out by the Telegraph, what do the average people, the common people in the UK have had to say with regards to these revelations, those who watched the BBC for a long time as well, track news through the BBC, because of course for a considerable amount of time the BBC has been considered as a beacon of free speech and journalism.
Well, I think the people are disgusted. There's been a lot of speculation that a lot of them are going to stop subscribing to the BBC. You know, we shouldn't be paying a media outlet almost £100 a year per person. Just imagine how much money they have. Money doesn't mean you have power. Money means that they can be big when they want to be big and manipulate and do things. I want to ask the question, how long has this really been going on for how many years? Have they really doctored a lot of information from all types of people that are in the public eye?
Indeed, and there was an interesting infographic circling around regarding the funding of the BBC. The US aid has been a key component of its funding. In light of that, now going behind the US president, no less, what sort of implications is this likely to have?
Well, this is, as I said to you before, a wake-up call for all the media and journalistic people that are in this business. They need to play safe and play clean, because I don't think everybody's been playing clean for many years now, especially since Trump came in. And not only that, you know, how do we know now that social media outlets are not going to doctor our information because they have full control on our videos and everything else? This really needs to be scrutinized, and I think some kind of law needs to be put in where there's punishment given. You know, people can't just resign as a CEO and then get a huge severance pay. You know, that's what they want. And I think all these pays should be cancelled, and a full investigation should be operated into the whole saga, because this is not just about Trump. This is a big thing now. This is huge.
Indeed. With that, I'd like to thank you, Mr. Batra, for taking out time and, of course, sharing